Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Ta-da! You can't imagine how glad I am to be back for the Twilight Zone, because really I thought that I would never be back with this show. I'm gonna tell you why. I didn't say I didn't put also the backup for the sound. Tack, it's done. Always put a backup for the sound. I just saw that someone, one of the reactors with who I can't say that I'm a friend, but you know, like we talk together, and I just saw that he had some issues with his recording, you know, with a reaction video with no sound. Always put a backup for your sound. That's the rule. I did the mistake once, I would never do it again. Even if it's not a good sound, at least it exists. Okay, hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch one episode of the Twilight Zone, the episode 3 from the season 5. You know it, you know that I have this project now to react to some episodes of the Twilight Zone. I'm seeing some episodes because I'm not gonna react to all of the different episodes. I chose some of them, you know, I made a list with the most popular ones on IMDb, and I already reacted to 3 or 4 episodes of the season 1, and right now I'm gonna watch one from the season 5. Really not into the chronological order, not into the right order also of the seasons. Right there, I'm gonna pick some, and also you're not gonna have them regularly, you know, on my channel. It's gonna be really when I want, when my schedule also is allowing me to offer you some episodes like that. I don't know also if you're gonna be interested by it or not. For now, I didn't post any episodes, and you know, the first episodes, I filmed them a long time ago, I edited them a long time ago because I wanted to see how YouTube would deal with that, and more in fact how the owners of this show would deal with that, and finally that's a success. Thank you a lot CBS, because you're allowing people to react to this show. Thank you a lot for that, because I was so excited, you know, by this project, and I was also so impressed by these episodes that I watched that I really wanted to continue that project, and you know, to have something like that I'm doing on my channel. Again, it's not regularly, it's not into the chronological order, but it's a little pleasure like that, a little gift for you, for me, that I can put right there and right down on my channel. So I'm really glad that I can do it. So right there, episode 3 of the season 5, I saw that it's one of the most popular, this episode in particular. The only thing that I read about it is the fact that it's about a man or a couple who are taking a plane, something like that, and something weird is happening. The Twilight Zone, I can expect it, I think. That's all that I read about it. What can I say else? I already told you how it's gonna happen for the Twilight Zone on my channel. I already told you how I'm gonna react to it, what I know about this episode. Yes, I wanted also to say that for the introduction of the first episode, I did a terrible mistake. I'm sorry for that. I only saw that after some episodes. Right now, the fact that I told you that this episode was out into that year, and that year, and I was totally wrong about it, but I want to say that it's not my mistake, it's the thunder, no? I want to say that it's not my mistake, in fact, it's IMDb mistake, at least the French version of that website, which are putting really a lot of different years for all of these episodes, and that's weird. So now I'm gonna check Wikipedia, which is better for that, you know, to tell you really when this episode was out. And I'm sorry for the first ones, I was wrong about them. I think that I'm gonna put into the description of each of these episodes the right year for that, and again, I'm sorry for my mistakes. Let's go for this one, the episode 3 of the season 5. Let's check right now when it was out, I really think that it's interesting to check that before watching an episode like that. You know, with a project like that, to see how they thought about all of that during that period of time, to be impressed by it or not. Sometimes maybe it's gonna be not. It's great, I think, to check that. Twilight Zone. Wikipedia. Wiki. I love too much to say it like that. Sorry. Episode 3. Yes, this one was out in October of 1963. Okay, 1963. I was so glad when I saw that CBS was releasing, you know, the blocking on these videos, on these reaction videos. Like really, they are allowing people to react to it. I was so glad, you can't even imagine. It's such a cool project, at least I think. And I hope that you're gonna appreciate it also, really. Okay, let's go for this episode. Remember that if you want to support me, you have my Patreon, on which you can have these episodes sooner during the day, at least for this one. Normally it's one episode of advance, but right there it's just sooner during the day, I think, if I have correctly my schedule in mind. And with an extended or full reaction part, for now I only put extended reaction part. I'm saying that, you know, if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe to level 2, it's enough for now. And yes, extended reaction part or full reaction part, it depends. Check the description to know what I decided to put for that one. And yes, it's the best way to support me. Let's go. Ah, that's a different opening credit. You know, I watched episode from the season 1. I remember that music, that opening credit. It's weird to say it like that when in fact I never watched any episode, but you know, I think that it's so popular that this one is clicking for me.
That's alright.
You're choosing your place?
Honey, what is it?
Uh,
The emergency window?
Normally you have more place for your legs. And you can smoke inside. Oh, really? Another time.
I'm not acting much like a cured man, am I?
Honey, you are cured. And Dr. Martin wouldn't let you fly if you weren't, would he? I mean, if you weren't well, Dr. Martin just wouldn't let you fly all the way back home. It's just that simple.
I've missed you. These last 6 months
Were you in rehab?
must have been awful for you.
You know, cured 6 months.
Well, everything is still intact.
Except me. Had a teensy-weensy breakdown, but now I'm cured. Understanding, it's wonderful.
Breakdown?
Over-tension and over-anxiety due to underconfidence.
See, that's it.
Okay, more depression or...
Portrait of a frightened man. Mr. Robert Wilson.
Ah, I was waiting for the narrator.
Mr. Wilson has just been discharged from a sanitarium, where he spent the last 6 months recovering from a nervous breakdown on an airliner very much like the one in which Mr. Wilson was about to be flown home.
Ah,
On that evening, half a year
it has to
ago,
be really stressful, you know, if he took a plane the last time that he had that mental breakdown.
I'm sorry, Darren. Go back to sleep.
Who is taking his own plane with, you know, good outfits like that, like really, no, jogging, the things to be the more comfortable. What? What? But no. I'm sorry, man, but you're hallucinating. It would be like that, you know, like. I'm sorry.
There's a man out there.
What?
Look, he's crawling on. Sorry. Must have been the...
What is it? Oh, it's nothing, Mrs. Wilson. Can I get you anything?
She helped you. And the things like that, like to wash them all each time.
Yeah, fine.
It's better, you know, to have the plastic thing. And for me, who is allergic to
Yeah,
acarien,
I'll take one of those.
it would have been a nightmare.
Can I get you a blanket?
No.
Oh, no thanks.
The temptation. Huh? I don't think so, but it's supposed to represent what? Like it jumped on the plane.
Are we going into a storm?
Just a small one, nothing to worry about.
Honey. Would you wake up, please, honey?
It's someone human with an animal costume for sure, but is it supposed to look like a beast or to look like a human with a beast costume? Why do you look like that? He didn't look afraid, he looked almost excited. His face.
What are you looking at?
It was sent away by the wind.
Storm? There's a bug.
It's gonna come back! It can fly, I'm sure of it.
Julia, there's a man out there. Gremlins.
Huh?
You remember the stories that... Julia, don't look at me like that. I am not imagining it. He's out there. Jumps away whenever anyone might see him.
Uh-huh.
Except me. None he's there.
Uh-huh.
I realize what this sounds like. Do I look insane?
Just some seconds ago, your face.
I didn't tell you before because I wasn't sure whether it was real or not, but I am sure now. It is real. There's a man out there. Gremlin. Whatever.
Just imagine that you are traveling with these persons and you are listening to that conversation.
I know you love me and sympathize with me, but don't patronize me. I am not insane.
Oh, she's really nice with you.
All I'm asking you to do is to tell the pilots what I've seen. Ask them to keep an eye on the wings. If they see nothing,
It's not good for you.
all right.
Oh, he's sweating.
You just sit tight and look, tell them.
He's back!
Hurry! Hurry! He's out there. He
Oh, your face.
to my left. There's a man out there. Will you please look in the name of... I saw him pull that plane out.
Mm-hmm.
But other people aboard me mustn't alarm them.
He's sweating so much, you know, and now we're filming him like that. And it's almost, you know, like we can see his eyes more.
I understand.
Ah.
I won't say another word. I'll see us crash first.
Bob!
Mr. Wilson, try to understand our position.
Honey, I'll be right back.
She's gonna explain that you're insane.
He did pull it up. He did.
More pills? I just understood now. He's gonna try to open that emergency door.
I was going to tell...
For me?
Please, Bob.
You blocked it right there. No? Knew it! Huh? Why? Who, you know, has it? And like you can have that into a plane? What? Oh really? You can smoke into a plane and you can have a gun into a plane? A real other period of time. That person is not filming it? Is it a real gun? Maybe you're hallucinating that also? And you can't... No! With the air, you know it's gonna... You're not sleeping?
That's one. Please. Hurry.
His wife, she's really like, really, you're not sleeping? No protection, no security, okay. You fool! You managed to kill your hallucination and now? What really happened? I don't think that it's what we saw. Like maybe he attacked someone into the plane.
Funniest way of trying to commit suicide I ever heard of.
It's all right now, darling.
You think that he tried to kill himself?
I know, but I'm the only one who does know. Right now.
A flight not only from point A to point B, but also from the fear of recurring mental breakdown. Though for the moment he is, as he has said, alone in his assurance. Happily, his conviction will not remain isolated too much longer, even from so intangible a quarter as the Twilight Zone.
That was a real good one. I think that for the ones that I saw right now, it's maybe not my favorite. I really loved a lot Time Enough at Last, you know, the story of that man who was blocked without anyone and with books to read, but at the end, I'm not gonna tell you if you didn't watch it, but but this one was really great also. I don't know if we can say that it denounced something like it was the case for, you know, the other episodes that I watched, the one on Maple Street, you know, was talking about when you're too curious about your neighbors, but also when you're suspecting everyone, and when really people can go mad really quick just because of one bad information, stuff like that, and people who can take advantage of it. The other one with that man who really did not like his life and who preferred to live into his other life, it was Willoughby. That one about Time Enough at Last, which was great also, which was talking about being lonely, but at the end you still need help, you still need friends, you know, people to live with you. And also to talk about people who don't want you to have hobbies, you know, like, wow, not respecting your patient and stuff. This one, I'm wondering, you know, about what is denouncing or not. That guy had a mental breakdown. He was coming back from that sanitarium, that place where normally he wants better, you know, he was cured, that's what you said. I don't think that you can really cure from that kind of stuff when you have issues, you know, with your mental health, in particular breakdowns, depressions and stuff like that. It's something, you know, that you're keeping in mind. It's something, you know, like you have also anxiety attacks, you have also panic attacks and stuff like that, and it's something that not you are fighting with for all of your life, but you are preventing, you know, you are trying to get off of your life for all of your life. Do you understand what I mean? Like, it's not a fight, it's more like you're learning to live with that, but also to know when it's gonna happen and to be sure that it's not gonna happen anymore. To know also when it can happen, to feel when, oh, right there, it can happen, like I can feel it, and to be sure to put you into a situation, into a condition like, okay, no, I know what it is, I know what to do to stop it, I know stuff like that. Can you see that I have some issues like that, anxiety issues, and yes, anxiety attacks and stuff like that. People, they are so used right now to say, oh yes, I have a panic attack and stuff like that. No. You're living a moment of stress, that's all, like, okay, you have something like stressful happening into your life, but a panic attack, it's not that. At least not the medical term, you know, behind that, and the fact that when it's happening, people are not just suffering, you know, from a little anxiety, but really you're such in a condition like me. how it's happening, it's really like I'm rethinking my life in just 10 seconds. I already imagined 50 different versions of my life, worst and worst each time, and I already imagined all of different stuff, and I already went into a lot of different websites and stuff like that to imagine how to resolve that, but at the end, you know, I try to resolve it, but in fact it's worse and worse and worse, and it's exhausting really to live situations like that, and it's really also really hard to get out of it, like to, you know that you're not acting rationally, you really know that, but you can't get out of it, like it's overwhelming. So I know that type of condition, and I think that it's like depression, it's like stuff like that. It's something that you're keeping for your life, and it's not like you're fighting it all of your life, you're just trying your best to analyze that, to be sure that it's not gonna come back, to prevent it to come back and stuff like that. So right there, to have him said, okay, I'm cured, no, you can't be cured, and for sure you were not cured. Maybe it's denouncing that, the fact that people who have mental issues now gonna still have mental issues and they have to be careful with that. The fact that that guy had his mental breakdown into a plane and took a plane again, it has to be really stressful, but it's not because of that, you know, that he can never take a plane normally if you worked on yourself enough, but right there he didn't work on himself enough, obviously. I don't know what it can denounce also. His wife was really nice, all of the people working right there was also really nice with him. It's really more about this character, this hallucination. You can tell me, was it really an hallucination because of the fact that we saw at the end that something happened on the plane and all of that? Yes, but it was not someone walking, jumping, flying around that stuff and trying to attack it. And he didn't kill that person, so he didn't stop that false attack, no. It was really an hallucination that he had around that thing which was happening and which was bad, and he created something around that because he had mental issues. He had already mental issues, he didn't work on himself enough, and he saw maybe that happening, you know, that thing with that wing, you know, something going wrong, and it was too stressful for him, so he made an hallucination around it. And into that hallucination, no one believed into him, but at the end, he managed to save them all. You know, if you are following his side of the story, he won against that creature, but he didn't win for his mental issue, against people and against himself. You know, at the end, he's gonna go back to the sanitarium, into that jacket, that famous one. I think that, you know, I can't see a real message around that episode, but I think that I appreciate it a lot because of this actor who was really great, and all of the faces, you know, that he was making, I could really feel his stress, you know, and also the fact that no one could believe into him. That was really rough for him. You know, it was really for the actor himself and how he was playing that I was into the episode, and that I appreciated it a lot. Planes? During that period of time, you could smoke, you could have a gun, you could choose your place. Oh, and that also, like, the curtains, I think, the translation of that. No, don't do that. For me, with allergic, like, I would suffer so much into a plane like that. I would sneeze almost all 20 seconds, like, it would be so awful for me. And people, you know, dressed like that into a plane right now, like, really, everyone understood that you have to be really comfortable into a plane. So come with your comfortable clothes, but don't come, you know, with your good dress and your good thing, like, no, not like that anymore. It was cool. It was a cool episode. 63. Maybe it can explain that creature outside. For him it was a man, but it was dressed with a costume of an animal, so that's why I prefer to say a creature than to choose an animal or a man, because he's saying a man, so I prefer to say a creature. I don't understand the face, of that creature, the inspiration behind that, the representation behind that. It was not an alien, it was not a real animal because of this face and because of his way of walking. I don't know what it was supposed to represent. It was almost like, a mix between a gorilla and a man, like what, the first man who is attacking a plane, the modern stuff. Maybe I'm going too far with that idea. And I don't know, yes, what it was supposed to represent. I mean, for that period of time, was it representing an enemy that you were worried about? Ah, I'm wondering. La planète des singes, c'était à quelle époque? Ah, si! That's a French novel. I didn't know that it was a French novel, La planète des singes. But that's a novel which was out in 63. And this episode was out in 63. The novel was out in January 63. That episode was out in October 63. I think that around that period of time, maybe they had, that idea of a villain which could look like that. I don't know. I don't think that it's a real inspiration. That figure of the villain right there being like animal and a man. I don't think that it's coming from the novel directly. But I think that during that period of time, they had that in mind, I'm really someone who is thinking a lot that during some period of time like that, you can be surprised that a lot of movies that are out and they have the same figure of the villains or they have the same idea behind it. And a lot of persons are like, this one copied on that one, this one copied on that one. And I'm really someone who doesn't believe that. I'm really someone who believes that during a certain period of time, because of things that happened before, because of cultural things, but also because of things that happened into the society and all of our brains are functioning the same, and it's natural, that we are going sometimes on the same directions, on the same ideas. And for creations like that, for books, for movies, for shows and all, it's natural that sometimes during a certain period of time they all have the same representation of villains, they have the same things and all. It's normal, because during that period of time it was on everyone's mind because of what. Sometimes you can explain it, sometimes not, just it's like that. And I think that it might be the case right there. Like, it's really the same year, 63, so maybe? Oh, I'm glad that I found that, that I thought of it, of that reference. It can come from that. The movie was out when? I'm wondering. Planet of the Apes, I think. 68, the first movie. Okay, 68. Ah! I'm sorry. For the first movie of 68, Jacobs is hiring several artists, including Rod Serling, the creator of the Twilight Zone. I'm so glad that I found that connection. I'm so glad. That I thought about first the novel and after that to check the dates and after that. Again, for me, it's a question of period of time, Oh, it's so fun! Now, it seems even more like that, that episode, that figure of the villain was inspired by the novel, The Planet of Apes, now that I know the name. And after that, the fact that the creator of the Twilight Zone was hired by the guy who made the movie The Planet of Apes. I'm so glad I found that connection. Cool! I'm gonna finish with that, it's a success for me. Okay, so it's all for you and for me for today for the Twilight Zone. I don't know when I'm gonna come back for new episodes and all. It's gonna depend on my schedule, when I'm gonna have place for it or not. It's gonna depend on you also, guys. Are you gonna appreciate that project or not? I'm gonna discover that next week now. It's gonna be cool. So it's all for you and for me for today. So it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Hey.